Once I start the live streaming, you can start. Yeah, you can.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ekunola Paul. I'll be talking on the topic today, mobile development process. Can you all hear me? Before I go further?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so on today's topic, we'll be having mobile application definition, the definition of mobile application, the current status of mobile application in global market. We'll be talking about development process, how you develop your applications. We'll be talking about testing, the testing stage. We'll be talking about deployment and support and conclusion. What is mobile application? Mobile application or app is a computer program or software application designed to run on a mobile device, such as phone, tablet, or watch. We all use mobile devices such as iOS, Android, and iWatches and Android watches. So mobile application works on them. Like example of them is your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, and so on and so forth. Current status of mobile application in the market. The current status of mobile application in the market. The global market for mobile applications is breaking records each year. You can see the chart I have here. From 2014 to 2022, it has climbed up, like it's skyrocketing. Like the market is there, the records are there. The number of mobile applications usually is growing rapidly. It's not stopping, it's really increasing. Obviously, the market size is also rising. According to Statistica worldwide, mobile application revenue are expected to reach $934 billion in 2023. That has gone from $97 billion to $935 billion in revenue. So like the revenue come with in-app marketing, in-app advertisement, VI, when you put your applications on app stores and all that. So you can make more revenue through all that. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Mobile application development process. We have three main process why you want to start development. You have an app idea, you want to start development, you want to start from scratch. You have to go through these 5 stages. You have the strategy stage, the design stage, that's the UIUX design. You have the development stage, and we have the testing stage, and development and support. So these 5 stages are more critical. Why you have an idea you want to build upon, you want to build your applications, you have to go through these 5 stages. Let's start with strategy. This is the first stage of mobile application development process. Is defining the strategy for evolving your idea into a successful application. So this stage, in this phase, you have to identify the app users. Who will be the people using your applications? Who are your targeted audience? Is it school? Is it for school students? Is it for social media, or is it game for everybody? Is it worldwide? Is it within Nigeria? So that's identifying the app users. You have to research your competitors. I mean, if you have this idea, there's no how someone will have a similar idea or have done something similar to what you have, the idea you have presently. So you have to research very well about how you are diving into this. Who are the people in your field that are doing the same thing? You have to research well, so you will not be doing the same thing, and then you will not be able to market your application that you are going for. You have to establish the application goals and objectives. That's very, very important. You have to know, okay, this is what I want this application to achieve. Is it for social media? Is it for educational purpose? Is it for financial purpose? You have to establish that in order for you to move on. You have to select a mobile platform for your application. Will it be an iOS device? Will it be an Android application? Will it be an iOS application? Will it be both of them, or stuff like that? So you have to identify all these stages before even going further to your design. So next we have the UIUX design. This split into three, but I just want to condense two for now. We have the wireframe, we have the mock-up, and we have the prototype. The wireframe, mobile application designers often start application design with sketches on paper. That's the first stage of designing your application. Mobile application, you have to sketch, okay, this is what I want my application to look like. Once the user clicks this, which page should it bring it to the next? Wireframes are a digital platform of sketches. Wireframes are conceptual layout, also refers to as low fidelity mockups. They give visual structure of your app functional requirements. So what are the features you need on your application? You put it in your wireframe. So wireframe is just like a rough sketch, but using some people use pencil and paper, but digital technology have made things easier to use your system to design something, what the look and feel of your applications, what you want it to look like. And we have the mockups too. You can see the diagrams here. This is the wireframe, this is the mockups, and this is the prototype. So mockups are more visual, like you see the wireframe are mostly black and white, but mockup you see the actual colors you want. Maybe you want your buttons to be blue, maybe you want the like button to be red. So you see everything in mockups. Mockups are final rendering of your application visual design. Mockups are created by applying your style guide on the application wireframes. As your app design begins to finalize, expect further modifications to the information architecture, workflow, and aesthetics. You can see from wireframe, this black and white is looking rough. So this is just the first stage. Then to mockups, mockups will give it a more visualized and user-friendly view before development stage. That okay, this is how we want our application to look like. Where will our button be? Where will our camera button be? Where will our settings button be? And then the prototype is more advanced than mockups. So these are the three types of design you go through before processing to application stage and development stage. So we have the application development. Before actual development, programming effort starts when you have to define the technical architecture, pick a technology stack, define the development milestones. Technology stack, we have so many technology stacks in the industry right now. JavaScript, HTML, CSS, we have React, we have Angular, we have Vue, we have Flutter, we have Python, and so on and so forth. It goes like that. So you have to pick, okay, which technology are we going to use to build our application? You have to know the best, and you don't look at only, oh, I like this technology stack just because I like it. No, you have to look how fast it is, how well it is the dependency updated? Is it an old technology stack or a new current one that is going to make our application faster and easier to use, user-friendly? So those are the stages you have to identify while choosing your technology stack. We have a typical mobile app project is made up of three integral parts. We have the mobile app frontend. That's mobile app frontend is what the user sees. Like once you open your Instagram, what the user sees, not what is going on at the back. It's not when you send your message, we don't know, the user don't know all this process. But what they see is, oh, somebody posted a picture, Mr. Macaroni posted a picture. I want to give the like button. I want to give it a comment and stuff like that. Those are what the user sees. So that's the front end. We have the back end part. That's the server technology. Those are when you send your messages or including plugins in your application. Those are what the backend users do. And we have the APIs. Let's go on to front-end technology. Front-end is everything that user sees on the mobile application, including the design of the app. So the look and feel of the application starts with the front end. That's the work of a front-end engineer. He designs from what you've given him on the UIUX design, the prototype, the mockups, the wireframes. The front-end engineer then write programs to make it exactly the way you've done it in your um, your wireframe, the main languages used for front-end development are HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We have frameworks such as Angular and Ionic. We have React, we have Vue, we have Flutter. We have so many of them. Bootstrap, making your application more easier to use. They work hand in hand to make website or application function well while looking good at the same time. So that's the work of a front-end engineer, is just the user face. We have the backend or server technology. This part includes database, server-side objectives necessary for supporting function of your mobile application. They make use of scripting languages such as PHP, Python, Ruby, Node.js, compiled language such as C#, Java, or Go language. So that's the work of a backend developer, where they work with server, where your messages go, where you save all your chat and all that. They know how to do it. So that's the work of a backend developer. We have the API, application programming interface. That's API. Is a method of communication between the app and the backend server database. So it's just a programming interface that make use of the backend server database. Moving forward, after the development stage, that's when the front-end engineer have worked on your application, the back-end engineer have worked, you've reported your APIs and all. You have to go to the testing stage. It's also known as the smiling stage. When you have your application ready, that's when your project managers are happy. That's only what they want to see. So the testing stage is when it's incredibly important to test your application early and often on an actual device. You use your system to build your mobile application. So it's very critical to, maybe you're building an iOS device application or an Android application. Is more preferable you test your application on that actual device you are building for. Maybe you are building for iOS or Android, you need to test it on an actual mobile application. Even devices with the same hardware can vary widely in behavior. So these are the things we put into consideration while testing the application, because you can test the application today, then if you leave it for 1 week, that okay, we'll be launching our application next week, and you leave it throughout the whole week without testing, without doing proper testing, you might get to the presentation of why you want to deploy your application and then it fails. So you have to test it on different varieties of devices, so you can know that okay, this is where we are lacking behind, and then the engineers will come again and put some things. The final release, the thoroughly checked and tested application is finally made available to end users. That's when you release your application. After the testing stage, you release the application to the app stores. Okay, we have deployment and support. Releasing a native mobile app requires submitting your application to the app stores. Apple App Store is for iOS devices, while Google Play is for Android applications. However, you need a developer account with Apple and Google Play Store before launching your mobile application. So you need the developer account. You need to create your developer account with the app stores. Most of us used to wonder, okay, how do we deploy our applications? Is it that the engineers just work on it, and how do they deploy it on the internet for end users to download? So these are the process you have to follow before your application can be deployed. An application release in the App Store requires preparing a metadata, including, so these are the things you need to include in your application for you to deploy it on app stores. You have to have your application title. Okay, what's the name of your application? What will it be called? What are the end users? What will the end user call your application? Examples are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LMS, any application. You need to have a name, a unique name. You can't have an app idea now. I want to name it Instagram again, because you already have an existing name called Instagram. So you have to look for a unique name that identify your brand name. Okay, this is what I want my application to be called on Play Stores or App Stores. You have to have your application description. Okay, you have your app name now. Okay, what are the things your app do? What is it used for? So that's the description. Okay, my app is used for social media, is used for making friends, creating friends, or is an application used for to search for jobs or stuff like that. So you have to have a description of exactly what your application do or does. You have the category. What category does it fall in? Is it an educational application? Is it a social media application? Is it something that everyone can use, or is it something that is limited within age range, maybe 18 plus and above? Is it a betting company application that you cannot allow kids to use for the meantime? So those are the categories you include in your applications while deploying to app stores. We have the keywords, we have the launch icon. This is an icon for Google Play. Now, once you see this icon, you know that you have an idea that okay, this without even saying the name, you know that this is Google Play. So those are the unique features your application needs to have before deploying it. And we have App Store screenshots. You have to screenshot okay the home page, maybe the login page and other pages that are very, very important so that the users can see from the app stores before. Most of us download things on Google Play and Apple Store. So you see those screenshots before even downloading the application. You know that okay, this is how this application will look like. This is the home page, this is the login page and stuff like that. So those are the most critical features you need to include while you want to deploy to app stores. In conclusion, application development is an ongoing process and will continue after the initial launch. As you receive user feedback, so after deployment, you will surely receive feedback. Okay, because you are the only one on your team that tested the application. So when it is out there that the whole world can download and use your application, obviously it will not be perfect at first because you will surely see some flaws in your application. So you need to now come back and then add additional functionality so that maybe you have 1,000 users using your application. You only tested it using maybe 10 different devices. Now you have like 1,000 devices using your application. Then the application begins to become slow. Maybe maybe the server side becomes slow, and then once they load another page, then it's very, very slow because we have much people using this application now. So you need to now go back after hearing the feedback from your users, that's the end users. You need to go back to the table board. Okay, meet you with your engineers, the front-end engineers, the back-end engineers, and other engineers involved. Okay, these are what we want to implement again that will make our application more faster, more unique. So that's the feedback you need to get from your end users for your application to be more successful. Thank you for listening. Feel free to approach if you have any questions. I think I'm done with my presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can ask your questions. Yes.
Okay. So one of my questions is who can tell me the features you need to include while you want to deploy your application to mobile application to app stores? What are the stages you have to go through? What are the features you have to include to submit to app store before deployment? Anyone?
Okay, I think firstly strategy and design for development and
No. My question is like once you want to deploy your application to the app stores, what are the features you need to include to submit to the app stores? Like, what are the things you need to do to submit to app stores? If you want to submit your application to Play Store or Apple Store now, what are the things you need to have before deployment to the application store? That's my question.
Okay, I think author's name, description, app logo, screenshots of the app itself, and I think name title like name of the app. Um,
Nice, great work. Those are the key features we need. We need the icon, the name of the app, the description, screenshot. You're correct. Can anybody tell me what are the 5% app development stages we have to go through? We have 5 key stages we have to go through while developing your application. Anyone? Should I call it? No one.
okay,
I think we have strategy, development stage, deployment, and something. Those are the three I can remember.
Okay, you're correct. Go 3 out of 5. So then go back. We have strategy, we have UI/UX design, we have development stage, we have testing stage, and deployment and support. So I think those are my questions. Feel free to ask any questions you have.